Right now at 6, Christine Drazan returns to the governor's race, promising change and a new vision.
It is not about parties. It is not about partisanship. It's about you.
And where the National Guard deployment in Portland stands now, with another major court ruling expected soon. Plus,
a deadly shooting near a Vancouver apartment complex as authorities search for 2 masked men.
That was devastating.
Then, a major project leader resigns. Could this put the long-awaited interstate bridge replacement in jeopardy? And later,
I know it's only late October, but everyone's talking about this upcoming ski season. I'll let you know what the season could look like coming up.
Our governor may be in charge, but her state is out of control.
that was how Oregon State Senator Christine Drazan launched her second campaign to become Oregon's governor, with a promise, she said, to return to what she considers to be core Oregon values. Thanks for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanich.
And I'm David Molko. Celine Stevens was at that announcement, and Celine Drazan, who lost to Governor Kotek by 3.5 percentage points in 2022, eager to get going, it seems.
Yeah, she definitely is. And, you know, her big point this morning was making Oregon #1. She says she plans to cut taxes and make life overall more affordable. She wants to improve the education system, increase police, and end drug markets, and also made a point to say under current leadership, Oregon is, quote, out of control.
I announce my candidacy for governor of the great state of Oregon.
State Senator Christine Drazan announcing her bid for governor for the 2026 election Monday morning. Drazan promising to bring change.
That means cut taxes. It means rush permitting, grow our economy, get our parks and sidewalks back. Help people get sober and stay clean. More cops and fewer needles in our neighborhoods.
Drazan emphasizing Oregonians are hardworking people and that the values that shaped her growing up are what she'll bring as governor.
No one protested when my dad lost his job. The government didn't come to the rescue when our food stamps ran out. We worked hard. We found a way.
We spoke with Portland State University professor Alexander Ross about Drazan's decision to run.
I think it's interesting that she chose to run this year instead of giving it some time, because obviously voters are going to have a lot to say about the current situation and the dilemma of the federal government right now trying to intervene in policing. So it's a really difficult time, a lot of tension right now.
He says the Republican Party right now might be her biggest liability.
She is sort of a moderate politician in the Republican Party, and so she might have a little bit of difficulty corralling the rank and file behind her. At the same time, she has been really effective in consolidating power and organizing a bloc under a supermajority Democratic legislature.
But Republicans like State Senator Mike McLean say otherwise.
At this point, I think she will be the front runner. I think Christine Drazan would make a wonderful governor, and her issues are the issues that a lot of Oregonians share, me included, and we want to see change.
So Drazan will have some competition in the Republican primary. Marion County Commissioner Danielle Bethel has announced she's also running. Now, I reached out to the governor's campaign team for comment, but they referred me to the Democratic Party of Oregon's statement, which read in part that when given the chance to lead, Drazan walked out on Oregonians, killing hundreds of millions in funding for everything from fighting wildfires to preventing child abuse. And like Trump, Christine Drazan panders to far-right MAGA extremists, January 6 rioters, and election deniers. Back to you.
Well, a year and a week, give or take, until that election. Thanks, Celine.
Developing tonight, deputies in Clark County are looking for the person who shot and killed a man in northeast Vancouver yesterday.
Devin Haskins has the latest on the search for the suspects.
The shooting happened just before 8 a.m. Sunday morning here at the Alderbrook Apartments in northeast Vancouver. The Clark County Sheriff's Office says witnesses tell them that 2 people were seen near the victim's car before they took off. The Sheriff's Office says this morning they believe they found that vehicle associated with the shooting. On Sunday morning at the Alderbrook Apartments in northeast Vancouver, residents waking up to the sound of gunfire.
It's described as several callers calling in what they heard as popping down.
The Clark County Sheriff's Office says someone shot a man to death in the front seat of a car just before 8 in the morning. Those that live here surprised to hear what happened.
That was devastating.
Several people we spoke with said they'd slept through the noise.
I didn't hear anything. Nothing was around.
Not a thing. We were sound asleep when it happened.
The sheriff's office says witnesses told them they saw two men wearing masks going back and forth between the victim's car and a red Lexus before they took off. By Monday morning, the sheriff's office said they found a car matching that description.
We did get an email from the landlord saying that there was an incident, but there was nothing to be concerned about. So we were a little shocked that it was a little more serious than that.
Yeah. A fatal shooting that has some living here looking to leave the area.
Kind of want to get out of this area because it's the third event in this general, like within our 10-minute radius.
We always felt like this apartment complex was a little like standalone, because if you just walk anywhere outside, it does seem a little more crazy.
Clark County Sheriff's Office gave a very vague description of the people that they are looking for. So far, the victim's name has not been released. In Vancouver, I'm Devin Haskins, KGW News.
Near the start from 142 westbound, we have 2001 3142 tied up. There's a multi-person fight on the bus.
That is dispatch audio from what authorities are now calling an attempted murder when a TriMet passenger was allegedly assaulted. This happened October 15th near Southeast Stark and 142nd. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office says 3 men attacked a 50-year-old man in the doorway of a TriMet bus. Court documents show the suspects tried to board the bus, and when a passenger complained about the delay, the 50-year-old intervened and was attacked. The man was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. All 3 suspects, Scruffy Tom, Rimson Tom, and Audric Yasiki, are in custody.
In an update this evening, investigators say the fire that burned Portland City Councilor Candace Avalos' home, carport, and vehicle does not appear to be targeted at her. Fire crews responded to the Mill Park neighborhood just after 2:30 Sunday morning. Authorities now say it appears the blaze sparked in a storage shed next to Avalos' home. They add there is no evidence the fire targeted her, and there is no sign someone used an accelerant or incendiary device. Police say they are working to identify who is responsible and to determine a more specific cause.
The NBA is reviewing how it handles sports betting after Portland Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups and other NBA players were arrested for their alleged role in a gambling scheme. The league sent a memo to all 30 teams saying it's time to reassess betting rules to protect the integrity of the game. The focus includes how injury reports are shared. Information gamblers could use that to place bets. The NBA is asking teams for input on new safeguards moving forward.
And Portland's largest airline is expanding service. Alaska says it's launching new nonstop flights next May to Baltimore, Idaho Falls, Philadelphia, and St. Louis. The airline has also added a second flight to Newark, made Kauai service year-round, and increased daily flights to Santa Rosa, Sonoma to 3. Matt?
All right, David, thanks very much. We had a pretty good day today after what a soaker of a weekend, right? We had a lot of rain. Right now, a few scattered showers over the Coast Range and up in the Cascades, but we take a wider view and you can see there's really not much left, although there was one lightning strike up around Seattle this afternoon, but most of the active shower activity stayed up to the north today, which gave us a nice and welcome break after 3 days of some pretty heavy rainfall, right? All right, in the last 48 hours, about a half an inch in Portland. The rainiest day of the last few was actually on Friday. That's when we had the atmospheric river. That was a one-day event. Over the weekend, it wasn't an atmospheric river, which had a good strong storm Saturday, right, and then showers that followed. But look at Aurora with 77/100 of an inch, 71/100 of an inch in McMinnville. So again, it came down hard in the last couple days, and decent amounts all around Western Oregon, lesser amounts in Eastern Oregon, as you would expect. Portland right now is at 53, and we see the mountain again, too. Did you see that? All covered in white. A little light rain tomorrow. Not that much. I'll show you how much in a bit. Mild and dry, though, on Wednesday and Thursday. And then for Halloween, it may be more treat than trick. I'll elaborate in a bit, guys.
A lot of kids and parents are going to love that. Thanks, Matt.
The possible deployment of National Guard troops to Portland is in legal limbo, at least until tomorrow. That's when an appeals court will decide whether to reconsider an earlier ruling.
Kyle Aboshi is with us. And Kyle, a lot of moving parts here.
Let me back up a little bit just to set the stage for everybody. On Friday, you'll remember, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals temporarily suspended its earlier ruling that would have allowed the deployment of National Guard troops in Portland. In essence, it hit the pause button. That pause will remain in effect until 5 p.m. tomorrow while the court decides whether to take another look at the case. The important thing to understand here, there will be no deployment of National Guard troops in Portland until at least Tuesday.
Now, this back and forth only over the 2 restraining orders, and there's a larger lawsuit at play here too, right?
Exactly. So you've got the restraining orders and then the lawsuit, the underlying lawsuit. Oregon, California, and the city of Portland are suing the Trump administration over the troop deployment. That 3-day trial is scheduled to begin on Wednesday. Judge Karen Immergut will hear from witnesses and decide on the merits of the case. So certainly a busy week in court with really big implications for whether we see the National Guard here in Portland or not.
Yeah, not to mention the big pile of documents you've been having to dig through to make sense of all of this. Appreciate it, Kyle.
You bet.
Well, new at 6, the head of the Interstate Bridge Replacement Program says he is stepping down, and for personal reasons.
Libby Dowsett has a look at what the change means with construction supposed to start next year.
It signals that it's kind of an unsettled time right now. It's not a propitious time to have to be changing leaders when we're facing these critical decisions.
One of the bridges is 105 years old.
Greg Johnson is stepping down as the head of the Interstate Bridge Replacement Project at the end of the year. In his statement, Johnson said his decision is purely personal and the start of construction is right around the corner, stating, quote, "This program has the benefit of a strong leadership team and the expertise of both state departments of transportation. But some lawmakers are uncomfortable with all the unknowns."
There are a few different advisory groups that are out there that we don't know what they're going to come to the table with. We don't know what requests they're going to make, and we don't know what that's going to further burden the cost of this project.
Economic analysts worry with repeated delays and rising costs, bringing in a new leader without any of these well-established relationships could only add to the financial burden.
There's a real danger that we will lose $2 billion of federal grants that were awarded under the Biden administration. Trump administration is taking a very different attitude towards a lot of these projects, particularly in blue states like Oregon and Washington.
Vancouver's mayor says she always understood Johnson's timeline was about 3 to 5 years and said, quote, "I can only imagine how disappointed he must be that the federal government has not yet moved forward with the bridge and that the record of decision remains unfinished. The project needs to finish the federal environmental review process before it can proceed."
It's a project that has grown very bloated, and if we were just worried about dealing with the seismic problem, it could be a much, much more affordable project.
And Washington State Representative Ed Orcutt is concerned about the price tag. Planners estimate between $5 and $7.5 billion, but critics predict $9 or $10 billion.
We just need a bridge. We just need something that functions better than the one that does now.
Critics also mention the Coast Guard has yet to give the final say on whether it will allow the proposed bridge span to be even lower than the current span.
I know there'll be a lot of finger pointing here, but I think the blame really lies squarely on the people who have designed a project that lacks financing and may not even be approvable by the Coast Guard.
Libby Dowsett, KGW News.